we'll have our affirmation of the week. This week is openness. We'll listen to these words from Swamiji. Openness can be a great virtue, but only when it is exercised with discrimination. To be open to wrong ideas or to people who would harm you would be foolish, for it is not with openness that error can be conquered, but with love. Openness of mind is a virtue when it is centered in the desire for the truth. Openness of heart is a virtue when it is centered in love for God. Both mind and heart, however, need filters to screen out what is not true and what is not of God. This we can do by referring back for approval to the divine presence within whatever comes to us. We must be ever open to truth and to God, but ever closed, or at least indifferent, to error and delusion. We'll practice this affirmation together first loudly. You can repeat after me. My mind is open.
My mind is open.
To the truth.
To the truth.
Whatever its source.
Whatever its source.
True statements remain valid.
True statements remain valid.
Even if hurled in anger.
Even if hurled in anger.
And now a bit softer, gentler in a speaking voice. My mind is open.
My mind is open.
To the truth.
To the truth.
Whatever its source.
Whatever its source.
True statements remain valid.
True statements remain valid.
Even if hurled in anger.
Even if hurled in anger.
And now in a whisper, letting this go deep into your subconscious mind. My mind is open.
My mind is open.
To the truth. Whatever its source. True statements remain valid.
True statements remain valid.
Even if hurled in anger. And now silently, feeling this at the point between the eyebrows, repeat inwardly. My mind is open. To the truth. Whatever its source. True statements remain valid. Even if hurled in anger. And now feeling this prayer, as I read aloud, feel it, feel each word in your heart. Divine Mother, let me hear thy melodies everywhere. In the laughing brooks, in the songs of nightingales. Yes, even in the roar of city traffic. Behind all earthly sounds, let me listen for thy voice alone. Om. So welcome everybody. Thank you for being here on this beautiful Sunday. We have a topic for today and for this week ahead. It's faith is a call to prayer. Prayer is a call to faith. So this is from Rays of the One Light, the weekly commentaries on the Bhagavad Gita and Bible that Swami Kriyananda shares with us based on our teachings. Truth is one and eternal. Realize oneness with it in your deathless self within. The following commentary is based on the teachings of Paramhansa Yogananda. In the Gospel of St. Matthew, chapters 7 and 21, we read, Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. Verily I say unto you, if you have faith and doubt not, if ye shall say unto this mountain, Be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, it shall be done. And all things whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing, ye shall receive. Paramhansa Yogananda showed by his own example that prayer is a power, provided we believe deeply in that power. When our thoughts and feelings are strongly focused and then united in growing awareness to the divine presence within, they can bring even seemingly unrealistic wishes to fulfillment. When Paramhansa Yogananda was in charge of his school in Ranchi, India, he took the boys on occasional outings to the surrounding countryside. There was a waterfall not far away, he told Swami Kriyananda, where I took them sometimes. It was dangerous to cross there, but I would cry out to the boys, "Do you believe in God?" "Yes," they would shout back enthusiastically. And so we always crossed in safety. Years later, after I'd gone to America, one of the teachers tried to do the same thing, but he lacked spiritual power. One of the boys slipped on a rock and was drowned. Thus, the master explained, belief alone is not enough. It must be united to one-pointed awareness, which leads to self-realization. The Bhagavad Gita in the 6th chapter underscores the necessity for such one-pointed concentration. Whenever the mind, fickle and restless, wanders off from its concentration, let the meditating yogi withdraw it resolutely, spurning every distraction, no matter how alluring, and bring it back again and again under the control of the self. Thus, through Holy Scripture, God has spoken to mankind. Om. Om.
It just reminded me of how often we just pray, interestingly, don't we, when it's chaos, when something's got us, something's made us angry, sad, whatever it is, we're in this heightened, and that's when we decide to pray, and we reach out. And so it's interesting. But I thought I'd start with a dad joke. And this dad joke is to help Tracy on a little, right? So after this, Tracy's going to jump on an aeroplane from Sydney Airport. I don't know if you know Sydney Airport, but it's got little fingers. And essentially when you take off and head down to Melbourne, the runway literally finishes on the water in the bay. And then it's surrounded both sides by water as well. Anyway, this Jetstar flight, I won't say Jetstar, I won't use names, but this budget airline. So you already have some understanding of anyway, we're sitting on this plane and, these two pilots jump on board and they've both got blind canes and they're wearing dark sunglasses and they're tapping their way, feeling which way to get into the flight deck to take off. And they jump in the seat. Next thing, the engines whirl up but anyway, the plane starts taking off down the runway and it's getting closer and closer to the end of the runway. And next thing, everyone's like, whoa, hold on a minute. So everyone starts screaming loud, like this. And anyway, the plane takes off and heads into the air. Anyway, one of the pilots reached out and just said, I'm glad that they screamed when they did, because if it was a little later, things wouldn't end well. So it's a bit of blind faith in what we're doing. So it's a dad joke.
That's cute.
Last week, we spoke about the opening line of Samadhi. And let's face it, regardless of what belief or faith that you have in the end, but Samadhi is heaven, nirvana, it's the reunited. But the first line we spoke about last week, which was vanish the veils of light and shade. And the reference of shade means that something is blocking that light. It doesn't mean that it's dark and they're two separate things. It means that vanish the veils of light and shade, meaning there is only light and we've put it in there. So if we bring that into this week and we talk about faith versus belief. And because I think it's like a natural distinction that we sort of need to sort of know. But if you think about what we've been given, you know, so even the songs that we just heard, you know, joy I came, from joy I came. And then you hear words from great masters talking about the great ocean. So yeah, sure, we believe that we came from joy, or yeah, sure, we believe that we're a part of that great ocean. Even from the meditation that we're taught on the path of Kriya Yoga, Hong So, I am thee, meaning that I am that already. And we do these practices all day, and we believe in them. We've been told them, we believe in them. What is the difference then between that belief and then the faith behind it? And I think if you think about that clearing of the shade and how we've evolved, it's that we, over lifetimes, have believed that the elements of God are out there. They're in this world, they're in this duality. So we experience it. We may believe it because we may believe that, you know, I got a fancy new car and I believe that it made me happy. It did. It brought me, you know, happiness, but it was fleeting. It only lasted for a little bit because, let's face it, in 6 months' time, it's a second-hand car. And that happiness has dwelled. And the duality of life often says that, you know, it's like people that, you know, go out and have these fun events, but it's a swing, it's a pendulum. It goes up, and then we have the downward spiral after that event. And when you think of the elements of God being love and joy and peace and light and sound and wisdom and strength or power, they are truths. They are the truths that are talked about in the reading that KALAMALI just did. And they are things, if we understand them from their true essence, so everything, we've taken all the shade away from that, and we understand that that is what they are. That is the essence of existence. So what is it? We sit through life and we still have these outward experiences. And so when we have belief in something, that's great. But when we have faith, there's a different element to it, isn't there? There's the belief behind it. But then when we have the true faith, I mean, the fact that somebody and many people, our line of gurus, each one of them have actually told us we are this. But how many people actually believe it, have that faith that we are there? And so if you think about that call, it is a call, a prayer to have faith in that, for starters. But then once you have that faith, it's the vice versa, isn't it? It's the faith of knowing how it is. And I'll share a little example of that. And one of the I think lots of people can experience this. Jyotish and Davy are our spiritual directors. And, you know, often they'll, you know, if you're organized to have a meeting or they said that they're going to come around, what is that process? You know, let's think about that process and relate it to our lives. That process is that Jyotish and Davy are coming. First of all, I think the first thing your mind says is, oh, they're not going to come, you know, or no, I'm not worthy, or I'm not, all these negative things that pop in your mind. And then once you start believing that they're going to come, you start then changing that experience. Those, so first resistance, and then it's like, well, what do I need to do now? It's like, oh, well, you know, what do I need to do? I've got to clean up. But also, selfishly, the first thing that comes after that negativity is, what can I get out of this? This is amazing. Jyotish and Davy are going to turn up. What am I going to get out from them? Isn't it? It's like a selfish response. It's like, oh man, I've got so many questions I want to ask them. I want to, you know, throw all these kind of things at them, and I'm, you know, how much better I'm going to be with them coming over. And then you start looking around your house and you're thinking, yeah, I better clean up. I better get this place spick and span, you know. And so you start doing this service and savor, and then you're thinking, well, I better clean myself up as well. Not only do I need to clean myself up physically, but mentally, I need to clean myself up. Yeah, you have to think, well, I better not use certain words, or I better, you know, start acting the way I should be. So you start curbing your behavior in relation to them. Anyway, the time comes, they knock on the door, you come in and you're thinking, I've got this list of questions that I want to ask them. And quite often you'll literally sit down in front of them and your mind just goes blank. Because really there's nothing other than pure friendship and love exists. And not only that, great masters of all lineage, when you're in their presence, you not only feel the love, but you experience the love for all people within those things, within that. And then what else exists? All those questions disappear, they dissipate. That shade is removed. And then to keep that shade away, your thought goes from that to being, how can I serve? What can I do to maintain this? How can I do that for all? Like, how can I become a channel for these people? And we've spoken about this before, but could you imagine, and we might even have this belief, that one of these great masters who have all, everyone on this lineage and most lineages of any belief system will tell you that they are always there. You just have to call, you know, Lahiri, or, you know, Lahiri, in relation to Kriya, he said, reach out with Kriya and he will be there to help. And Babaji was the same. If you say in earnest, Babaji, 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 you will evoke a blessing. So these are people that have united with this great light, with all these great things that have all been there. So then what happens? Why is it, though, in the daylight of chaos and the only reaching out when we want an answer or we want something or these kind of things, that they're not there? It's because we've created this shade. We've put all these blocks in front of us. So how do we remove it? We've been given the tools to remove it in our daily life. First and foremost, we should be living every day if we have Yogananda, our great guru, on one arm, Swami Kriyananda in Ananda on the other. How would we behave if we went about our day? What would our day be different? KALAMALI and I were just talking. We have this beautiful friend, a dear friend of ours, Tracy, that came around. And we always say that the joy of that community and family uplifts that spirit. We're removing shade just being together to experience. KALAMALI says, we're behaving. But we all do. But if we lived every one of our lives knowing we are a part of that great ocean and great spirit, we have that connection all the time. And it's a calling. Every one of us here have decided we have had enough. We have had enough in the belief that these outward things have given us all these things. We now are on this journey back to having faith that we are one. Self-realization. We are realizing we are one with that great ocean. And so once we believe that, so if we want to relate it to when we want to have a genuine prayer or a prayer for something, how do we want to be? Do we want to do it when we've created that shade? We've got the anger, we've got the frustration, we've got the grief, we've got all those things that aren't truth. That passage said truth is in all, but in all forms. But we have to find that truth. And how do we find that truth? By getting rid of the shade of sitting in our spine, doing Hong So with faith that we are one. Hong So. by chanting and uplifting and removing that journey up the spine and clearing that so that we can reunite and be one. We have faith, and that comes with experience. If we're busy chatting, doing all these things, it's very hard to feel that experience. Path of Kriya is about uplifting, having that joy, getting rid of the vrittis of the astral spine so that we can lift all of our energy, clear all of that shade, and reunite with the light.
I just wanted to take a moment to bring everything that you've wonderfully shared into what's happening today. And why is it so important to relate the word power with faith? That's really interesting that our teachings do that. So when you were describing the astral spine and being in our center and knowing from there what is true, it's a superpower. It is to be centered amidst the waves of crashing worlds, amidst the chaos that's going on, is a superpower these days, because it's very easy to be pulled away from our center. There's lots in the news. There's lots going on between families, people, cultures, countries. There's often there's like road rage increased around these times. There's more stress, there's more substance use, there's more drama. Whatever it is that's going on, it's going to try to take you out of your center. So, as part of a group of spiritually minded people, we want to help each other maintain the ability to stay centered, to stay calm, and to have faith that God does know what God is doing right now, even though it doesn't always seem that way. And there's a really beautiful blog this week that Nayaswami Jyotish wrote. It's called A Cup of Light. If you haven't taken a moment, it's very sweet. It starts off with a very cute joke, which I will not ruin by telling you that. And then it goes into how can we have faith during these times? And it is returning to our center. It is returning to a place where we are connected with an internal religion of joy, realization through meditation and through service. And if we can access our spine, our center throughout our day, but also in our meditation, taking that feeling into our day, we can then radiate a superpower. And what we find is that the longer you meditate and try to bring that into your activity, the more other souls start to say, what's going on? How is this person calm? How is this? You're quite calm. Can I just kind of hang around you? And you don't always know why, but there's a magnetism because everybody's somewhere inside knows that they're looking for that calmness. They're looking for faith and hope, because faith gives hope. And they want to know, what is it that you're doing that, I could access too? And there's been lots of times throughout, this 15 years on the spiritual path where people have said to me, can you teach me to meditate? I think you meditate, right? And all they need is a little bit of Hong Sa. And I always remind myself to do the finger movement. Hong, you bring your finger in, Sa, you let the finger out. But because that's such a helpful thing for a lot of people with a wandering mind. And think of Ananda Ma, she said, if everyone would just sit still for 7 minutes, this world would be incredibly changed. If we can just help people sit still and just feel a sense of centeredness and relate to each other from that place, that is the key. That is the solution. And it's not that we can't all share it, but we have to remind ourselves to go deep when we can. And one of the things that came to my mind while Nara was sharing is a visual that we can all do where we really see our spine, our spiritual highway, the path, the 3 feet path to, well, yours is bigger, but the path between the base of the spine to the point between the eyebrows, really feel the Sushumna. That's what we're trying to access when we meditate. is to withdraw every bit of our being's energy into this Sushumna, the spine. And with love and with devotion, fill ourselves with a great magnetism of energy and force, with a power that we bring to that point between the eyebrows. And every breath and every moment where you're just sitting there, you know, in a moment of what a great devotee, Dr. Peter, some people here has probably seen his talks on the brain and meditation, but he often said, you know, when you have those moments where you can choose a filler or a practice of Hong Sa or japa or filling your mind with our affirmations, try to choose that which will help you stay centered, because anything can happen. That is one thing that life has taught us again and again, is anything can happen in a moment. Everything can change. But if we can at least stay centered and maintain a sense of faith that everything's going to be okay, that it's for our souls and all the souls on this planet's greater good, we will be okay. And isn't that what we all just kind of deep down want to know, is everything's going to be okay. We just want the great comforter, the great love, the great joy of this divine mother that knows what we need and what is meant to happen next. So as we sit every day, especially now, if you can try to do your twice daily meditations, build your routine up. Even if it's just a daily meditation, just trying to do something to touch your center, your point of centeredness every day, and feel a force, a mighty force of power coming through this light of Babaji, that he wants channels on this planet. He said to us, I am here to strengthen the light, not to dispel the darkness, to get rid of all that bad stuff. I'm here to strengthen the light. We all have free will. Make the right choice and feel your entire being in its center. And from that center, everywhere, circumference, nowhere. That's the solution for humanity. So we invite you all to bring that into your wonderful week ahead. And I will just end this recording and thank you all so much. Unless, do you have anything else? I should have asked that. Okay, I'll go ahead and stop.